If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. If you're ready and you know it, don't be afraid to show it. If you're ready and you know it, clap your hands. Clap down and hold up.
Auty's Pick'ems. Auty's Pick'ems. Here we go. Week 13, everybody. Coming to you from the man cave, as always. I got my Jets gear on. I got my Raider gear on. Hopefully those things come in, but let's just do a quick recap for last week. I told you on the midweek migraine. November, I love the month. I love Thanksgiving. I love everything it represents. I do not love what my pick'ems looked like. They were disastrous. I'm hoping that my Christmas season is a little bit more merry than it was in November there. Absolutely disastrous. I went 1-5 against the spread last week. 1-5 straight up. My naughty Auty pick, Tampa Bay at Indy. Getting 3, did not come in. I'm now 5-2-1 there. Overall, with Thanksgiving included, against the spread, 18-30-3. Terrible. Why you guys are even watching, I don't know. Certainly don't be betting money on this. I kid. We go the whole length. We'll see where we finish up. I think I'll be closer to 500. I have been taking some flyers here. Straight up, 28-23. That took a huge swing, with only getting one right last week. And then otherwise, the naughty Auty, 5-2-1, still a solid play. So let's get right to it. 2 at 1 o'clock, 2 at 4 o'clock, Sunday and Monday night this week. I know we had some games that were kind of loose, but I like how New England was in that 4 o'clock game. Something, a lot of people were buzzing about them and how they're going to do. We'll get to that. My first game that I want to pick is the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota home dog getting 2. I like that. However, I'm not putting the nail in the coffin on Seattle. I like Mike Zimmer. I like what Minnesota's done. They're going to have to run the ball, as is Seattle. ADP had a great week last week after a subpar week the week prior when they lost to Green Bay. He had 145 yards last week. He looked really good. Thomas Rawls has continued to get it done. I believe Seattle's number 2 in the league overall in terms of rushing yards a game. We know that Marshawn's been banged up. Thomas Rawls has actually had more 100-yard games than Marshawn Lynch, I believe. So Thomas Rawls, there won't be a big drop-off there. I think the difference maker in this game is the passing game. Last week, we saw the Legion of Boom get torched by Ben Roethlisberger, as he seems to do to every team with Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant. He just seems to find the ball with those guys. But that'll be a key this week. Can Teddy Bridgewater, who's an excellent young quarterback, excellent young talent, but he hasn't really taken that step over the hump. He's going to have ADP, a great running back, getting 7, 8 in the box. If he can find these passes, break up the Legion of Boom, I think Minnesota has a shot. However, I'm not going against my man Russell Wilson. He looked very comfortable in the pocket last week. I think that's what's going to determine this game. Who performs better in the pocket? I'm going with my man Russell Wilson. Give me the Hawks giving 2 and the Hawks to win. That's in my first 1 o'clock game. My second 1 o'clock game, we head to the Meadowlands for a home and home, if you will. The Jets of New York visit the Giants of New York in New Jersey, where their home stadium is. So you have the Giants performed excellent 2 weeks back against the Patriots and lost in a heartbreaker, a game many thought they should have won. Then you have last week, they laid a total egg against Washington. Washington now in first place in the division after the Giants controlling their own fate and destiny. Now you have the Jets, who kind of limped along. I think they lost 4 of their last 5, and then they go down to Houston, they lay an egg. Then after losing to Buffalo at home, Rex's homecoming. Then last week, they really redeemed themselves. Ryan Fitzpatrick looks comfortable. 4 touchdowns last week. Brandon Marshall was involved. And then the running game seemed to have a little bit of a resurgence. Not that Chris Ivory has been pounding the ball like he did in the first 6 weeks of the season, but it was nice to see him get up and going. With that said, no Darrelle Revis today on defense. The Jets are going to have to do an excellent job of getting to Eli. One thing that I'm sure many Jets fans are saying, well, Odell, we only got to worry about him deep. Check the tape, my friends. This is a guy that catches the ball at 7 to 10 yards and makes it 25, 35, 45 yards. I believe he only has 2 pass plays in which the ball has been thrown over 25 yards this season. I think I saw that on the NFL this morning. That totally blew me away. I look for Odell to get about 15 to 20 targets today. I know that sounds like a lot, but I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the Jets. And moreover, I don't think there's going to be players able to get open the way Odell can get open against that defense. Quarterbacks, I like Fitzpatrick today. I think that the Jets are going to be able to move the ball effectively against this Giants defense that, it's a patchwork quilt. I don't know who their strength and conditioning coach is, but I would look into getting somebody new because you guys have injuries decimating you every season, year in and year out. Odell's going to go off. I like Brandon Marshall. I think the big differences are the defenses. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not accustomed to being sacked a great deal. I believe he's still under 15 sacks for the entire season. This has been a struggle for the Giants' defensive line to get to the quarterback. So I'm going out on a limb here. I like the G-men to cover, but I like my Jets to win. I'm thinking like 23-24, 23-21, a real dogfight, something that comes down to the end. That seems to be the theme with these two teams. They like to try to let the other team, whoever their opponent is, win as many times as possible with them continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. It should be an entertaining one today. I will be pulling for my Jets, but I do believe the G-men will cover. Now, let's go over to the 4 o'clock games. And you got some good ones here. You got, there wasn't a lot of great stuff at 4 o'clock in terms of record-wise. You got, Carolina and New Orleans. Many are saying that's going to be a blowout. You got Denver and San Diego. I love that rivalry game. But I'm going to go with another rivalry game. I got the Oakland Raiders at 5-6 hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. I got Oakland getting 3. Now, I know Kansas City has been flawless. I think they've won their last 5. Oakland 1-4 over that stretch. But this is where I think that it kind of levels the playing field. These rivalry games, we saw it last week with, the Giants coming to Washington. Giants, everybody was high. They looked awful. And I know that after a good week in New England, against New England, I know that Kansas City's been playing on all cylinders. I know Alex Smith doesn't turn over the ball. I know the passing game's starting to get going, and we know that running game has done exceptional things. I think that Oakland makes it happen today. I don't know what it is. I mean, I like Kansas City. I love Andy Reid. You guys know I've said that in the midweek migraines. I think that this is a team making a playoff push, but I think they trip up here. 5 in a row. I think they're due to lose. I think they're coming into an Oakland environment, very hostile. Jack Del Rio has done a great job with these kids. Now, remember, this will be, if Oakland wins today, this will be the first time they've been to 500 since, I want to say 2006 or 7. It's been a long time in the month of December, to be 500. So Oakland has a lot riding on this. Kansas City also has a lot riding on this. An Oakland win would put both these teams at 6-6 and give Oakland the tiebreaker. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of implications here. These teams meet again week 17, final week of the season in Kansas City. So this is my Naughty Auty upset special of the week. That's right, the Naughty Auty upset special of the week. Oakland Raiders at home getting 3 points against the Kansas City Chiefs. I love Oakland this week. Then we go to 425, and a game that has a lot of buzz, not necessarily because the teams are headed in the same direction, meaning the playoffs, or on the up and up with a potential Super Bowl berth there. You have the Eagles, who everybody's calling for Chip Kelly's head, yet still in this division, especially if the Jets win today and Washington loses tomorrow to Dallas. We'll get to that. So the Eagles still in this mix at 4-7. They're getting 8 today going to New England, a very, very, very difficult place to play, as we all know. And I also want to make note, despite New England's record at home, which is impeccable, I think, under the Tom Brady era, 4 or 5 losses total, including playoffs, New England is 34-4 after a loss. So it doesn't look, to me, like the Eagles are going to have what it takes today. I know that the Patriots are decimated. I know they are. But, guys, we've seen it time and time and time and time again. Next man up. Next man up. The best teams have next man up. You say, who's this guy? What do you mean? I don't know. And then he's running for 100 yards. He's catching for 125 yards. He's making big plays on defense. He's a walk-on rookie, undrafted free agent catching a touchdown or catching a should-be touchdown pass in the Super Bowl to win the game for you. The Patriots have plenty of players that are willing to come in and buy in and do the right things. I like the Pats today. I like for it to be close, though. I think we're going to see a lot of that frustration on Tom Brady's face. I think the Eagles will be able to run the ball mildly effectively. I think they'll be able to pass the ball mildly effectively. What kills the Eagles is the drops, the 3-and-outs, and the clock management. Chip Kelly's system works great when everything's running on all cylinders. When you're 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3, you can't do that to Tom Brady. He's going to kill you. He's going to absolutely murder you. So if the Eagles can stay away from the 3-and-outs, run the ball effectively, and not shoot themselves in the foot like so many of these teams do that when they come to New England, I think they can keep it close. On the other side of the ball, I like New England. I like them in this atmosphere. A lot of people starting to doubt them. Oh, they don't have Gronk now. They don't have Edelman. Amendola is questionable to play. I love Brandon LaFell today. The Eagles have been torched on defense. 10 touchdown passes in the last two games, I think it was, they've given up. Absolutely torched on defense. So I like Brandon LaFell today. I also like James White, Brandon Bolden out of the backfield today. The Eagles have trouble in that mid-range, that linebacker. The linebackers really have trouble covering guys in the pass game. And then, moreover, I like LeGarrette Blount. The Patriots, like we know are going to play to their strengths and your weaknesses. And the Eagles have had trouble stopping the run this year consistently. Consistently. If the Patriots continue to go to the run, 2-3 downs on every set, if they're moving the ball, getting first downs, why not give it to Blunt 3 times in a row? Boom, 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 first down. Then 2 more runs, then maybe a pass. Mix it up. I think that could really, really benefit the Patriots today and put the Eagles in a tough spot where they're desperate. So give me the Pats, but the Eagles to cover. Now let's go to the Sunday night game, which I'm very excited about. These 2 quarterbacks have actually met, and I mentioned this in the midweek migraine. Matt Hasselbeck was the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 40 when they played Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The coaches were Mike Holmgren and Bill Cowher. Those are no longer. The teams are completely different. Matt Hasselbeck has breathed a new sense of life into this Indy team that everyone thought Andrew Luck was going to take to the promised land this year, but injuries and timing and these kind of things have really kept him out of it. Hasselbeck has come in. He's undefeated as their quarterback. I think that ends tonight, and I think it ends for 2 reasons. One, Pittsburgh, they just seem to be a team, even last week. I mean, you do not want to get into a shootout with these guys. They just continue to come at you. I like what their offense can do. I like what D'Angelo Williams. There's really not that big a drop-off from him or Le'Veon Bell to D'Angelo Williams. We saw 7 receptions last week, 88 yards, 28 on the ground. He gets it done offensive production-wise. If he's getting you 100 yards a game, you're winning. In terms of, you like to see those things. They didn't win the game last week. I mean, they have Martavis Bryant with a big game. They had Antonio Brown with a big game. They had Wheaton with a career game, and they still couldn't win the game at Seattle. I think that changes at home this week. I like their defense. It's documented that Chuck Pagano, Frank Gore, the Indy media, NFL media has said that Frank Gore is beaten. He is hurting. He's a walking wounded. 33 carries his last 2 games, only 58 yards. That is not the Frank Gore we know. But without Luck, without that spread attack in terms of the deep pass threats, it really limits what Frank Gore is going to see in front of him. And when I say that, we're seeing 7, 8 guys in the box every time he's going to touch the ball. And it's going to be very difficult for a guy with that many miles on it at this point in the season, with as little help from a supporting cast in terms of a run game and a pass game that he has, to really see this guy get it going. I love you, Frank. I just don't think it's time for you. I know that there's I think that the line I had was 9.5. So this is what I'm going to do, because I don't give up on Indy. I know their offensive line and defensive line are terrible, but they're 6-5. They've showed me a lot of fight in these last few weeks. Even last week, really just determined. I mean, there was a touchdown taken off the board for Tampa, and Indy just kept marching on, and closing out that game. I was very impressed with the way they closed out the game. So give me Pitt to win, but Indy to cover, and I have it at 9.5. So Pitt wins tonight, Indy covers. I like a close game. I think it should be relatively high scoring. I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of 31 to 25, 26, somewhere in there. I'd like a few touchdowns from each of these teams. It should be a good one. Now, Monday night, this has all the implications in the world. If the Jets win today and the Eagles win today, that whole scenario is probably very unlikely with the Patriots in the mix there, the Eagles going to New England. But if the Jets do win today, I mean, it really levels this playing field and still keeps the Eagles in it, even with the loss, because the Giants will be sitting at 5 wins. Eagles will be sitting at 4 wins. Dallas comes in with 3 wins. They can get to 4. And Washington has 5. They'll still remain at 5. So this game on Monday night, I know that it seems like it's a bore. I know that Tony Romo's out. I know the Cowboys can't win without him. I get all those things. Keep this in mind. Dallas, 7th overall in total offense in the NFL. So despite Romo not being in, they've shown that the ability to move the ball and matriculate down the field. Washington in that same category, 22nd in total offense. So something that they're sluggish at. We've seen them shine at home. We've seen Kirk Cousins shine at home. We've seen him not turn the ball over. We've seen several wins, or actually all of the wins that they have coming from these home games that Washington has played just exceptional in. They ran the ball very well last week. Not that they did huge numbers, but they continued to stay with it. I think they had 30 touches running the ball there, Washington did. That's going to be a big piece. But I like Dallas, and this is why I like Dallas. We've seen last week, we saw Jacksonville get a team that's typically an underdog be a favorite, and San Diego took care of them. We saw Cleveland, a team that's very often the underdog be the favorite, and we saw Baltimore on the kick six. I realize it's uncommon for that to occur, but nonetheless, they couldn't handle it. Washington is the favorite this week. I don't like that play. They've only been the favorite one other time this season. I couldn't even tell you who it's against, but I like Dallas to keep it close. I like Dallas getting the 4. Give me. I'm going to go out on a limb here because I know I've been picking against Dallas, but I like Dallas to cover and to win, and that could also be a naughty pick, but I'm going with the Oakland Raiders just because I don't like that guy on defense for Dallas. But I think that Dallas is going to keep it close. All their games have been pretty close. I don't think Washington really has the firepower to put them down too soon. I know Cousins has been playing great at home, but I don't like Dallas to roll over. Like I said, these division games, we have a lot of them this week. We have a lot of them. They're not just going to be cakewalks for either of the teams. So that's my lineup. Let's just go real quick recap. We're going with the Hawks to win and to cover against Minnesota. We're going the G-Men to cover, but the Jets to win in New Jersey today. We're going with the naughty Auty upset special is Oakland getting 3 at home against Kansas City. Give me Oakland to win straight up. Then you have the Eagles visiting New England. I have the Pats to win, the Eagles to cover. Then you have Pittsburgh hosting Indy. Indy getting 9.5. Give me Pittsburgh to win, Indy to cover. And then Monday night, Dallas getting 4, headed to Washington, D.C. I like Dallas to win and Dallas to cover on this one, kind of bringing the Redskins back down to reality. But more importantly, really heating up that mediocre NFC East. So those are the Week 13 Auty's Pick'ems. Thank you guys for tuning in. It'll be posted up. Have a great day. Be good to one another. And God bless. It's the holiday season. Have a great time out there. Be well.